Good evening and welcome to the Channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. At least 56 people have died after an earthquake struck the main Indonesian island of Java. The 5.6 magnitude quake struck Cianjur town in West Java at a shallow depth of 10 kilometres. Rescuers have been trying to evacuate people from collapsed buildings. It has left hundreds injured, with makeshift hospitals appearing on roadsides. Officials have warned of possible aftershocks and said the death toll could rise. President Volodymyr Zelensky has marked Ukraine's annual Day of Dignity and Freedom by celebrating the sacrifices made by his people since Russia's invasion and saying they will prevail. In a video address to the nation, Zelensky hailed the contributions made by people of all kinds, from soldiers, firefighters and medics to teachers and farmers. The Day of Dignity and Freedom marks the pro-European Union protests of 2013-2014 that became known as the Maidan Revolution. China has reported its first COVID deaths in 6 months, with officials warning the capital is facing its most severe situation since the pandemic's start. 3 fatalities have been reported in Beijing since Saturday, bringing the country's official death toll to 5,229. It comes as China's zero-COVID policy sparks rare protests. The controversial strategy has seen millions locked down and positive citizens forcibly quarantined. In Beijing, officials have already implemented a lockdown in the Haidan part of the capital, with shops, schools and restaurants closed, and 3 million people urged to stay at home. Elon Musk says he will not allow the conspiracy theorist Alex Jones to return to Twitter. Referring to the radio host's frequent referrals to the Sandy Hook killings as being faked, he wrote that his own child had died and that he had no mercy for anyone who would use the deaths of children for gain, politics or fame. It comes days after the accounts of the former US President Donald Trump, as well as Kanye West and the influencer Andrew Tate, were all reactivated. Israel's Prime Minister-designate Benjamin Netanyahu has won a defamation suit against a predecessor who claimed he and his family were mentally ill. A judge ordered Ehud Olmert to pay Mr. Netanyahu and his wife Sarah and their son Yair $18,000 in damages. Mr. Olmert argued that he had been expressing an opinion in good faith in 2 Israeli TV interviews last year. But the judge rejected that defence and said he also had failed to prove the claim with a proper medical assessment. Kenya's President William Ruto has arrived in the Democratic Republic of Congo for talks.
And that is why we are committed under the East Africa community.
In his first state visit to the DRC, Mr. Ruto said that Kenyan troops would be deployed to the country's far east on an ongoing basis. Speaking alongside his counterpart in Kinshasa, Mr. Ruto said that helping stabilise DRC and end conflict there was his top priority.
I have come to confirm to my brother and to the people of DRC that Kenya will play its role. We are rolling out the deployment of our troops in the areas that have been agreed between the government of DRC and the East Africa region to do whatever it takes to support His Excellency the President, to support the government of DRC and the people of DRC so that we can have peace.
And a mural painted by the graffiti artist Banksy on a bombed-out building in the Ukrainian town of Herenka has become a source of comfort for local residents. The mural, showing a man scrubbing his back in a bath, is on the ground floor of what remains of an apartment block that was hit during a Russian attack in March. Russian missile strikes have caused frequent blackouts and often knocked out water supplies in Ukraine. The mural in this heavily damaged town in the Kiev region is one of 7 that Banksy has confirmed to have painted in Ukraine. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel's studios in Lagos.